Hello Gemini, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com. Welcome to my channel. This is your weekly read. If you'd like a personal reading with me, then just check out the description box below of how to book in. So to start off, I've picked out a card from Colette Baron Reid's deck, The Wisdom of the Oracle. It's like the overriding energies for this week for you, Gemini, and it actually made me go, oh, when I picked this, because it got never-ending story. Like, look, head in the hands. What? This again? I'm sure I chose someone different to have a relationship with this time, and it's just like the same old stuff over and over again. This is about the stories that you got going on that just keep on repeating. Just keep on repeating. You think you're doing something different, and then it's like, oh my God, the same thing manifested again. What the hell? What the hell, Gemini? Gemini, you're a thinker, and you've got to watch what you think, like more than any other sign. So our superpowers is our spiritual, it's spiritual, it's our superpowers are our consciousness, our conscious thoughts. That means the thoughts that we're actually choosing, not the subconscious thoughts that are just going on, the negative, the ego mind, the one that wants to protect us. It's the conscious thoughts that we have that are really powerful. You can let your ego mind be powerful by just letting it take over. And it's our hearts as well, so it's powered. That conscious thought is powered by our hearts, powered by our emotions, powered by our good feeling, right? Especially your consciousness is prime, Gemini. This is your superpower, like even more so than the heart. It's good for Geminis to balance that up, but when you're telling the same stories over and over again, when you're letting your mind think the same things over and over again, telling these stories, you manifest the same thing because your mind is really powerful, Gemini. Let's have a look at what Colette says about this card. It might give you a bit more information. There's a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering born of unnecessary dramas. It's the old story whose refrain is that you cannot do this, must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Today, know that none of this is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you, the ego mind, that got stuck in a lie, wants to protect you, and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Fear is all it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story, and the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part, the ego mind. Small and vulnerable and easily soothed. Easily soothed, right? So that's the way out of it. The way out of it is meditation. It's listening. It's listening to what that ego mind is saying, that subconscious mind, noticing it, and then soothing yourself. Because imagine if that was a friend saying that stuff that goes on in your head. Yeah? Imagine if it was a friend saying that to you. You wouldn't be friends with them for very long. So this week it's all about checking out what's going on in your mind, especially that ego mind. So meditation is a great idea this week. But changing the story. And you don't want to change the story by trying to impose a new story. First of all, it's about soothing yourself, as it said, soothing yourself, like having some compassion for yourself. Because it's hard. Like, I don't really understand why as human beings we decided to have this ego mind. Like, I do understand it, right? It's to protect us, right? It is, and it does protect us from things. It kicks in that fear for good reasons, but then we have very little to fear these days. So let's have a look, Gemini. General guidance for this week for you. Okay, about abundance. So doubt cancels abundance, and be vulnerable. And so what's making you feel vulnerable is your doubt about abundance, right? It makes you feel vulnerable. When you're not trusting in the universe, when you're not trusting in abundance, it makes you doubt it, it makes you cling to things, it makes you hoard. Have you ever had the experience where, say, you're feeling lack and you don't think you've even got enough money for food, so you buy all of this food and you have it in your fridge, and then you don't eat it because it's all like fresh fruit and vegetables and you've got way too much of it, and then it goes bad before you've got a chance to eat it. And it's like that hoarding. It's like you don't need to do that. You can trust in the flow of the universe. And so it backfires. That feeling of vulnerability, and when we start grasping onto things because we doubt abundance is there for us in every moment of every day. That's what abundance is. Whatever we want, whatever we need, available to us in any moment of any day. When we're doubting that, we feel vulnerable, and that's our sign that we're not thinking right. Thinking right. You've got to think right this week. Gemini, think right. And how do you know when you're thinking right? It feels good. Got a hair that's tickling me. Okay, more general guidance for this week for Geminis. I like this. So not only is meditation allowing us to notice when that ego mind, that subconscious mind, is blathering on about all of its fear and loathing and victimhood and all of that crap to try and protect us. Meditation also fosters our connection. It wakes up our connection with our higher self and the universe, right? And so those little pockets of silence that we have in between the ego mind kicking in again and going off on a tangent, and then us becoming aware that it's gone off again and bringing ourselves back to the silence or whatever it is you're meditating on, whether it's your breath, whatever it is. Those periods of silence, and they don't have to be very long, they're often not very long when we're meditating. Sometimes it can be, and then it's an awesome meditation when you get to that point, but that happens very rarely, even for like people that meditate all the time. So even the smallest breaks in thought connect us with our higher selves. It gives us space to allow the higher self to kick in and give us inspired thought. Whether that inspired thought comes in our meditations or afterward, you'll find that when you meditate, you'll get ideas sometimes in the meditation or straight away afterward. That's inspired thought. That's your higher self coming through. That's your connection with source. And so the more you do it, especially meditating in the morning, the better it's going to be for your mind, Gemini, to quieten that ego mind down, that fearful mind down, but also connection with your higher self, so you can get that inspired thought coming through. Your muse. Okay. This is about romantic relationships. So love life for Geminis this week. How about this? You'll get what you want in your love life. Meditation will lead you there. This is all about your connection again. This is about your connection. And it's all about your thoughts too. So our thoughts, our fearful thoughts, sabotage our relationships, right? Which part of you is jealous, right? If jealousy is something that undermines your relationships, it's the fearful part of you. It's the ego mind that's jealous. It's not, or sometimes it can be us picking up on what's actually going on. Sometimes it can be true, and it's our intuition picking up on that, but very rarely it is. Usually it's just our ego minds kicking in with fear. And so getting what we want in relationships, meditation is going to help us to let go of that fearful mind that sabotages our relationships, that has us questioning the other person when really there's nothing to question. It fosters our connection with our higher self as well. So relationships, loving relationships is best when two whole people come together. Two whole people, so you're looking after your own happiness, you're on your own path, you're on your own life path. They are too. You come together to walk side by side. You're not getting on each other's paths. You're not trying to be each other's happiness. You're just coming together, loving each other and supporting each other on your separate paths. That's two independent people, whole people coming together. That's what you want. And so this meditation is going to help you get what you want in relationships, whether you're in a relationship already or whether you want to bring in a relationship. So it's for singles and for those of you Geminis who are already in a relationship. Again, I'm just got drawn to this card, remember? Never-ending stories. What relationship stories have you got going on? You keep on repeating the same relationships over and over again. You think you've chosen something different, but the same thing shows up again. That's what came to me when that card first came out, remember? Again, more about relationships. Ooh, passion. And that's what we want, right? Now, what I'm getting from this is passion is that feeling, intense feeling of attraction, right? We can try and ignore that, and we can look at who looks good on paper. We can try and pick someone with our minds instead of our hearts. Doesn't work out very well. Have you tried that? Oh, it's not very good. There's no passion there. Hey? You've got to let that passion flow. You've got to feel it and go with it. Now, we get scared. You know why we get scared? Because when we felt that real strong passion with really being into someone, like really into someone, we get into a relationship with them. And as all relationships go, most of them, we find out who they really are, we break up, right? And then we think we've gone wrong, and we're like, oh my God, that was scary. And the more passionate we are, the more into them we are, the harder it is, that breakup. The better something feels, the harder it is to let go of. And so then we get scared of this passion. We're like, I can't trust my passion, I can't trust my intuition anymore, I can't trust my feelings, I can't trust my heart, because I went with that person that I felt so attracted to, so passionate about. The passion was flowing and it really, really hurt. But that's the nature of life. When something's really good, the flip side of it is really bad when you've got to let it go, right? It's okay. Still trust it, still go with it. You still want to be in those intense relationships, believe me. You can't think your way through life, Gemini. Don't think your way through life. You've got to use your heart too. Get that balance. That's relationships. What about career? What about business? Okay. Again, with the overthinking, this is saying whatever you're doing now, the job that you're in, the business you have, or even if you're in between at the moment, it's going well. You're on the path of figuring out who you are. We all are. We're getting to know ourselves. We're growing. We're learning about ourselves. We're coming into ourselves. It's going well. Your life path is going well. Career is just a part of your life path, you know. Also, I'm getting, if you're in between jobs at the moment or in between businesses, finding out, getting back to your own energy, finding out who you are, that's a good place to be in. Spending that time alone, not doing stuff. It's going well. This mindset of it going well, that your real job is to find out who you are, be more of yourself, shine more of your gifts, share more of who you are with the world, be of service to the world in that way. And so every step along the way is good. Like, you know, if I look back to everything that has brought me to what I'm doing now, and other stuff that I'm doing, because I'm a professional athlete as well, everything that I've done, it seems unrelated, like my degree in engineering and my work in IT for 8 years, corporate IT, and it all seems unrelated, and the various businesses I've had in the last 20 years too. It all seems unrelated, but I can look back and see how it's all related, how little parts of it, even if it's not related to what I do now, it grew me in a certain way, right? Everything that I've done has made me more of who I am now. It's got me on track with who I am, which is, we tend to lose that when we're kids. I think we're taught, school teaches it out of us, adults teach it out of us who we really are, then we've got to try and get over that, get back to who we are. So the path that you're on, this career path, it's more about you learning who you are, and you're doing well. Have that mindset that you are doing well. You're learning about yourself. And it's the biggest challenges. Often it's the biggest challenges that lead us to the greatest learnings about ourselves. Again, this is about career, is it? Yes, it is. It's about career. What you resist persists, move away. This is saying that you can't fight your way away from something. You can't resist your way away from something. It persists if you resist it. So, what's that thing Esther Hicks says? The Abraham work. It's like you can't fight something. You can't protest something and expect it to go away. Like the war on drugs is just making more drugs. It's adding energy to that. You can't add energy to something by fighting it and expect it to go away. You can't. You've got to accept it as it is. Accept it as it is, and point yourself somewhere else to what you do want. So don't use your mind to focus on the stuff that you don't like, Gemini, about your work. Accept that you don't like it. Accept it is what it is, and it exists, and you've learned from it, and you don't choose that. And then choose what you choose instead. What would you like instead? So notice what you don't like, but then focus yourself on what you want instead. What do you want instead? Again, I'm brought back to this, the never-ending story. How come you keep on choosing stuff you don't like by focusing on it? You can't you can't think yourself away from what you don't like by thinking about it. You can't. It's just not possible. You draw to what you're thinking about, and especially when you've got strong emotions about it. Like if you're really hating something, you're just like attracting it by the bucket load. Oh, this is about abundance and about finances. Gemini, this week, you know what this is saying? It's let go of the perfectionist. You don't need to be perfect before abundance can come to you. You think an apple tree says, oh, you can't have an apple, like pulling the apple out of someone's reach. It's like you're not perfect enough to have an apple. No. We're all perfect as we are. Right? Would you go into a maternity ward and there's like 10 newborn babies in front of you and you've got to decide which ones are worthy of a good life, which ones are worthy of loving, which ones aren't, which ones are worthy of abundance, which ones aren't. No. You know that all of them intrinsically, just because they're born, just because they are worthy of abundance. You are too. You don't need to perfect yourself. And so time alone, it's like accepting yourself as you are. Abundance, Gemini, abundance. Oh, I like this. Passion, up until now. This is changes, Gemini. So we're all in a redirection toward our destiny right now. It's like the universe is grabbing our shoulders and directing us. If we keep on trying to go toward the wrong thing, it's pulling our shoulders back and directing us to our destiny where we should really be. This is to follow our passions. It's to follow the passion, yeah? To do what we came here to do, to add our light to the world, to be who we are and share our gifts with the world. To share it. So the up until now card, as I was saying with the career stuff, it's like it's going well. You're finding out who you are. Just because you liked something in the past and you chose it and it worked for you doesn't mean that you should be doing it now. Follow your passion. What are you passionate about now? You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to move on. Yeah? It could be that what you're doing until now isn't right for you anymore. You can have a new passion. How about that? And that's going to lead you to your abundance, because being yourself, being your true self, sharing your gifts with the world, that's when abundance just flows to you. So let's just have a look at our energy again. I'm actually Gemini rising, so I can overthink, for sure I can. Never-ending story. Stop expecting the same things over and over again. Life can change in an instant. Your energy has changed. You've learned, you've grown. Don't keep on expecting the same things. Don't keep on telling the same old stories, Gemini. Give your mind a rest. Open that heart up. What is possible now, Gemini? If you'd like a personal reading, check out the link below to book in for one of those. Also, I've got a daily psychic show. It's called Psychic Cafe here on YouTube. It's at 8 o'clock in the morning Bangkok time, because that's the time zone that I'm in. And I do a daily read as well. You might find that on my YouTube channel. That's a general read for every sign, a daily read. Go deeper into the energies in Psychic Cafe, deeper into the energies of today. I pick out cards for me. I get one of the cards from one of Colette's decks as well. And I read for people, give mini readings for people that show up in there as well. So you're very welcome to come along to that. If you like this video, click on like, click subscribe. I'd love to get to know you better. Have a fantastic week, Gemini, and I'll see you next week. Bye.